Thank you for being with us, Dr. Cerulli. Doctor, what are some of the things that parents may want to keep in mind that now that it looks like their kids will be heading back to school in the classroom this fall?
Well, this certainly has been a year like no other, and I anticipate it being a back-to-school year like no other, coming out of a pandemic. So much excitement about being back in the classroom, and along with excitement comes some anxiety, especially for our kiddos. The children with ADHD, our children with ADHD, have the additional challenges and complexity, shall we say, about making this transition initially to learning at home and now to being back in an in-person environment. And I would add the additional challenge for ADHD kids is a lot of times during the summer, medications get put on hold, what we call medication vacations. And so not just medication, but other treatment options may have been put on hold. So really thinking about this chance to plan ahead for this transition. And notice I mentioned our children with ADHD. I'm not only a professional practicing in this field, but I do have a daughter with ADHD. So really, I'm really right there with you parents.
So if your child has ADHD, how can the summertime set the stage for the new school year?
I would look at summertime as a wonderful opportunity where you can reassess, reinforce, reevaluate what's working and not working. So rather than thinking about medication vacations, I really encourage in my practice to think about medication adjustments, for example, as well as combining with non-medication treatment approaches. Summer's a great time to do this. Why? Because during the school year, things get really busy. There are real demands with school and after school activities and homework, whereas in the summer, you have a little bit more chance to let some of these things gel. And if you are making a transition, more time to allow to evaluate side effects and efficacy, how well the medication is working. So summertime, again, think of it as an opportunity.
So what alternatives do parents have to help their child?
Let's think about both the medication and non-medication approaches in answering that question. The medications, one of the reasons you hear about drug holidays or medication vacations is because some of the stimulants get stopped in the summer due to side effects such as potential for growth delays or decreased appetite, not gaining weight. So I want to let parents know there's also non-stimulant medication options. You don't hear as much about that. And in fact, I'm here on behalf of Supernus Pharmaceuticals that has a new non-stimulant medication, Qelbree. It's the first new chemical entity in 10 years, actually, in our field of ADHD, so very exciting information to bring to you. And it's not that non-stimulants don't have side effects. They're just different from the side effects with stimulant medications. It's never a one-size-fits-all in terms of treatment options. Side effects you may want to watch for on this include fatigue or sedation, but talk to your doctor. Each ADHD presents very differently from person to person. And so, in other words, some kids have more of the inattentive symptoms, some more of the hyperactive impulsive symptoms, and therefore you want to collaborate with your doctor and come up with a strategy that's going to work best for your child.
Doctor, what other steps can parents take to help their ADHD child over the summertime and gear up for the new school year?
So I mentioned this is an opportunity. I think of the treatment table of success, setting the table for success. 4 sturdy legs to that table for the ADHD child. 1, we already mentioned pharmaceuticals. Let's move to the other 3 legs. It's ADD coaching, otherwise known as parent coaching or executive functioning coaching. That's really teaching the child nuts and bolts strategies. So how are we going to bring your backpack in? How are we going to organize your folders and color code your folders so that you can find the homework that you did last night? How are we going to look at your schedule and plan ahead to be able to optimize the use of your time and how you organize your after school events, activities, and homework hours? So that's the second leg. Third leg of the table, therapy, whether it's individual therapy, family therapy, or both. I mentioned having a daughter with ADHD. Family therapy has been unbelievably helpful in our household because it really is a systems issue when one child is struggling with certain challenges. And finally, the fourth leg of the table, the school. Academic accommodations might be helpful. What do I mean by that? Things like 1.5 times or untimed testing, because if your child's struggling with inattention and distractibility, they may need more time. How about where you're seated in the classroom? Somebody struggling with attention might do better in the front of the classroom where the teacher can make more eye contact, where the teacher can walk by and place their hand on the child's desk just to actually literally pull their attention into the room. So, and help them participate more in what's going on instead of drifting off in the back of the class, daydreaming out the window. So both the medications and non-medication treatment approaches combined usually will help your child succeed.
Doctor, where can our audience go for more information?
For more information on ADHD, I recommend chad.org. CHAD is a wonderful resource. Children and Adults with ADHD is the organization, chad.org. And for more information on the non-stimulant medication I mentioned, Qelbree, it's QELBREE.com.
Thank you again, Dr. Cerulli, for being with us today to share this good news.
Thanks so much for having me and for caring about this topic.